Minimally invasive off-label direct TAVR in MAC implantation for heavy annular calcification. The patient is an 80-year-old female with severe mitral valve regurgitation and moderate severe mitral valve stenosis evaluated for mitral valve replacement. She had a clip performed 2 years prior and mitral valve regurgitation had recurred. Her symptoms including fatigue and dyspnea on exertion. She had severe mitral annular calcification, which was almost circumferential, more prominent in the posterior annulus and the commissures. The patient's mitraclip was in position grasping both leaflets, but there was severe mitral regurgitation adjacent to the clip. Given her age, severe MAC, and the small annular size, the patient was felt to not be a good candidate for an operation with resection of the calcium bar. At this point, we looked for alternative approaches and decided that an off-label TAVR in MAC with direct implantation was the best option. After counseling the patient on an off-label TAVR valve in MAC and obtaining prior authorization from the hospital and authorities, the patient was consented to this approach through a right minithoracotomy. Heart was arrested using the lenocardioplagia. The left atrium was open at Sondergaard's groove, and exposure of the mitral valve showed 2 clips present and grasping both leaflets, and severe calcification, as one can see how the entire valve apparatus moves by moving one portion of it. Severe posterior annular calcification with a very small orifice was identified. The anterior leaflet was resected in a standard fashion, and the chordate tendinate to the anterior leaflet were removed too. The clip was resected en bloc with a specimen. You can see there are 2 clips. And the central portion of the P2 non-calcified edges of the leaflets were removed. Picture shows a specimen with 2 mitraclips attached to both anterior and posterior leaflet. At this point, I used Teflon pledgeted 2-ethibond sutures with calcium cutting needles to apply as many as possible circumferential. I had sized the annulus, and the annulus would not fit a 25 sizer. It is worthwhile saying that application of these needles through the calcium bars was more favorable. One can see that some of these sutures are not really placed in the posterior annulus itself, but rather on the soft edges of the remnant leaflet. I looked for the LVOT and marked it with methylene blue so as to position the valve in the best way possible. So we elected to use a 27mm Sapien 3 transcatheter valve. One can see here on the back table the preparation of the felt strip around the TAVR valve, which was sewn onto the brim of the valve or to the atrial edge of the valve. And we used a bovine pericardial patch, which we cut in a donut shape to create a brim as shown here. The valve was inserted into the ventricle, and a slow inflation of the valve was carried out. Here it is shown in an accelerated fashion, 400% faster. We made sure that we stayed as much atrial as possible within the margin of safety so as to not dislodge the valve. Once the valve was completely inflated, the balloon was removed, but we did tug on the valve to ascertain a good grip. The sutures that were previously placed were passed through the felt strip anchored to the base or atrial aspect of the TAVR valve, and subsequently they were tied down using the Cornot device or titanium fasteners. At this point, the brim of bovine pericardium was trimmed down to an appropriate length and sutured in a running forward purling fashion to the atrium as a washer to prevent any paravalvular leaks. Final results showed the valve with good competence, good working leaflets. The atrium was closed in a running fashion with 3-0 purling. CAT scan shows the TAVR in MAC implantation. The patient had no obstruction of the LVOT, and her mean gradient across the mitral valve was only 2 millimeters of mercury, with no regurgitation and no paravalvular leak. The operation was successful with a 130-minute cross clamp. 20 minutes of this time was spent constructing the composite TAVR felt bovine pericardium. The patient was extubated 6 hours after surgery and was discharged home in good health. On follow-up at a month, she was doing well.